Last night, the Democratic Central Committee of Alaska voted 89-2 to allow me to join this unity ticket and pledge the party's support to the resultant campaign. Bill and I have spoken. This candidacy and our government will be one of a partnership built on trust, built on confidence in our own capacities, our own experience, our own abilities, and informed powerfully by the vision that we share of Alaska's future. We have committed to writing the essence of that. I won't call it a platform, but it's a series of understandings that will guide us. It's all about, if you look at both of our campaigns and what we have said we stand for and will do, it is all of that. And we will work together to make it possible, and it will roll out as part of our campaign effort. I wanted to share that with you because much of this has taken place for me over just a very short period of time. My family, my son Ben, who is with me, my wife Tony, have been with me on this entire journey. My another son left with a brand new baby the other day, back to Juneau. Our ninth grandchild. And our son Anthony and his family, 3 grandchildren, flew up this weekend to spend time with us, and they are now back at work. I need to thank my family for their support and their dedication to this part of our collective journey. They know it, we live it. I want to thank the Democratic Party. I am humbled by the high honor that had been accorded me to be their nominee and the action that they have taken to allow this journey into Alaska's future to continue. I want to thank Hollis French and Craig Fleener, because without their actions to withdraw their respective nominations, this could not have been possible. They are true Alaska leaders who have stepped up to serve, given up much, and will continue to serve Alaska. As I've said, but I need to thank him also. I thank Bill Walker for being a man of honor, integrity, and with whom I share a shared vision of the future of Alaska. His family, they are very much a part of his campaign. And I look forward to our 2 families merging both in campaign and in Alaska life.
What the Democratic Party has done is unprecedented in Alaska, to my knowledge. I've been here all my life. I've tried to follow politics. I think it's unprecedented. It's for a reason. You know, and there's no question. I'm a conservative. I've been a conservative. I'll continue to be a conservative. I've not changed anything for this to work. I've had to ask some people to do some things that they would rather not, to step away from a race that they have, a hard-fought race that they have won, for this to happen. But it's not about me, as Byron says. It's not about us. It's about Alaska, and that's really what it comes down to. You know, I'm not. We talk about the bipartisanship, having a bipartisan administration. We'll have a no partisan administration. You know, we are going to field the best and brightest Alaskans across the state. Our administration is going to look like Alaska in every way possible, because partisan politics will not have a place in our administration. Byron and I will work as a partnership. You know, I've said sort of in jest before that the lieutenant governor, typically the role is to be down the hall, 300 yards, hoping that the governor has a bad health day. We're not going to have that. You know, he'll be in the governor's office. There'll be an office in the governor's office for the lieutenant governor. I'm not much of a down the hall kind of person. He'll be there, and he will participate in my administration, in decision-making processes. We will work as a team. We'll work as a team during the next 60 days. We'll work as a team in our administration. We're going to chart some new waters in Alaska on in our relationship, and the way we're going to work together. But we're going to do that throughout our administration, because we're just not going to follow the same old party lines of how things are done. It's just not going to be there. We are in a crisis in Alaska. That's what brings us both to do this. You're not looking at a couple of career politicians that are saying, okay, now let's get into and run for this office and run for that office and run for Congress. That's not what we're doing. We're doing this because Alaska's broken. We need to fix Alaska. We need to fix Alaska with Alaskans. We're not going to fix Alaska with one party or another party. I mean, there's no business model, there's no professional sports model that would leave half or two-thirds of the team on the bench. There are some great Alaskans all across Alaska, and we will reach out to them, and they will participate in this effort, in this journey that we're on to fix Alaska. We're in the largest deficit we've ever been in the history of our state. That's unacceptable. And the forecast is 10 more years of deficit spending. That's unacceptable. It's not going to be fixed by arguing who's the better party, one party or the other. It's going to be fixed with solutions, a solution by Alaskans. And we have done this before. You know, when we had an earthquake in what became a state in '59, I remember well. We came together as Alaskans and fought for statehood. You know, when we had an earthquake in 1964, we came together as Alaskans to fix Alaska. When we had floods across the state, the '67 flood in Fairbanks, it was Alaskans that came in and we built Fairbanks. It was Alaskans that rebuilt Alaska from the quake, not partisan in politics. And that's where we are today. We are right back at a crisis situation. You may not see the water rising in the Chena River. You may not feel the earth shaking. Actually, you might feel it today in some locations in Anchorage. But it's every bit as real. It's every bit as real. When I look at that forecast that this administration put out, in 5 years we run out of money. We run out of savings. Then what happens to our education funding at that point? What happens to our public services? What happens to our cost of energy? What happens to our state? You know, I have. I think it came together. I mean, in Nome, I spoke to the Alaska Municipal League. It was very emotional for me because I looked at the Alaska Municipal League, all these different municipal representatives. I come from local government. And I think local government is really the purest form of government there is, because people can get closest as they can to the local government officials. It was very emotional for me because I know what they're facing. I'm doing this because I don't like knowing what I know and not do something about it. I mean, it's no different than if I'm driving by a car in the ditch at Paxton at 50 below and they're in the ditch. I'm not going to drive by. I'm going to stop and help them out. And anybody else in Alaska would do that. That's what we need to be doing. We need to recognize the problems we have, stop the partisan battles in Juneau. Two teams playing defense. Somebody recently described it in a debate. A longtime politician in Juneau said, here's the way it works in Juneau. The majority spends all the time making sure that the minority doesn't do anything, and the minority spends all the time trying to slow down the majority. So who's working for Alaska? How does Alaska benefit in that? We're not going to do that. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to step aside from that and do what's best for the state. Yes, what we've done is unprecedented in the state. What Byron has done, what the Alaska Independence Party has done, what the Alaska Democratic Party has done. But what they've done is they put people before politics, people before partisanship. They put Alaska before partisanship. And that's how we're going to fix this state. We're going to fix it with Alaskans. We're going to working together, and we're going to stop the fighting. We're going to stop the divisiveness, and we're going to fix Alaska on Alaska's terms now, and we'll do it as a team. And I'm so honored to do that with my friend, Byron Mallott. Thank you very much.
Tens of thousands of people who voted for Hollis, Craig, and Byron. Are you worried about disenfranchising those folks?
You know, I think that they will see in the next 60 days how we work together. That this is not about partisan maneuvering at all. There are those in the partisan world that'll try to take advantage of that in some way. I hope they will. I give them one. I hope they trust us. I hope they trust these two Alaskans, because we are not doing this to get a political advantage or a maneuvering advantage. We're here to put the best team together, to field the best team for Alaska. I hope that they will watch us. I hope that they will engage with us. We've already certainly heard from some. We've heard from others, and we'll be very vocal in all of our outings across the state. So I guess I'd just ask for the word trust, I think, on that, Steve.
Could I respond also?
Yes, please.
This was not an easy decision. It was agonizing. I called many, many Alaskans before I made my decision. I thought about all of those who have supported me. I'm comfortable in the sense that I believe the huge majority of those who voted for me wanted a better Alaska. They wanted a result. They wanted us to have the best Alaska possible, built on principle and values. And I talked with people about that, and they gave me two answers. One of two answers. They said, Byron, you're doing the right thing. Secondly, those who didn't say that said, Byron, we believe in you, we trust you. I don't know what more I can do. I do reach out to every single person who voted for me. And as Bill has said, it's hard in political life to ask for this because of recent or a long history. But we're trying to change that. And I ask you to trust me. Look at my record. Look at what I say. Look at the actions I take. I cannot do anything more.
So you keep talking about addressing the energy issues in Alaska and saying that Parnell's administration hasn't done that, though they're working on different pipeline issues. They've dealt with trucking, LNG to Fairbanks. What specifically do you have in mind for dealing with energy issues?
Well, first of all, we need to stop overcharging ourselves for their own oil in the refineries. You know, on the Flint Hills refinery, we charge a premium of $17 million that year as a premium, what we charge them for to take our oil and refine our oil for us. Who do you think paid for that $17 million charge? We did. We need to look at that process and make sure that we bring our own. You know, we're an owner state. We need to start acting like an owner state. And we need a foreman of the ranch, not a ranch hand, as governor. So it's a matter of taking control and doing what we need to do to bring the confidence across the field. I mean across the state, absolutely across the state. So, you know, we do energy projects because they're energy projects. Let's make sure that they're real projects, that they make sense. Sometimes our energy projects, one competes with the other. One cancels the other out. You know, we have 4, 5, 6 different pipeline studies going on right now. What are we doing? What are we doing? The people voted. I sit here, look at my friend Scott Hayworth. The people voted in 2002, you know, to build a gas line. Don Benson. They were on the board. That board was dissolved. We started over again, and we start over again, and we start over again. We will finish projects. We will not start over again. I come from a building background. I've never gone in and completely wiped out a half-built project and started over again. We start over every administration. We won't start over. We'll finish the project.
Which project?
Including the Sudan.
Which project?
Could I also say that when we say energy, we also speak to the cost of energy crisis across the state, which is major and which will be something that we address head on.